We're going to work on the speculum area next, and I'm just using the chalk pencil to kind of lay out major feather groupings, and then we'll begin painting this area. Started with brown earth in this area, and I'm using nutmeg on the back end, and then I'm going to blend those colors together so we kind of transition from brown earth here to the nutmeg, pure nutmeg towards the back. I'm loading up a small filbert. In one side of the brush I have the nutmeg color, the other side I've put the brown earth, and then we can use that to go across this transition area, and it helps facilitate a nice blend between the two colors. I'll use the pure nutmeg again to paint in this stripe just in front of the speculum. And then that stripe is going to transition into a driftwood gray for the wing feathers themselves. There's that little touch of driftwood gray in this area just as it tucks under the side pocket. Right now, just getting the base colors in there, and then we'll put detail on top of that. Now I'm taking a little burnt umber and darkening that brown earth, and darken this area of the speculum with a small filbert again, and kind of blend that into the pure brown earth in the middle, and then back to the nutmeg behind. Just a quick shot of that blend. Now I'm using carbon black. I'm going to put this dark marking on the rear edge of the speculum, leaving a little room for the white that goes beyond it. And then I'll work to get a nice blend between the nutmeg here and this black area. Using a little carbon black on a chisel scrubber and just going back and forth over this junction between the black and the lighter part of the speculum, and put a little bit of a blend in that area so it's not such a harsh line. Using the off-white mix, which is, as a reminder, is white gesso with a little bit of raw umber in the mix, just to tone the white down a bit. And we're going to put in this rear light marking on the speculum. Now I'm using nutmeg with a touch of that off-white to lighten it somewhat, and pulling lines through this area to show that the speculum is made up of layered feathers. Now I'm coming back to each of those lines with the off-white and tying that line into this this white stripe on the back. So there's a nice blended transition there. Got some carbon black on the detail brush. Make sure it's nice and sharp. Pulling on just a subtle little bit of a curl there to tie things in, because this is all one feather that has the three or four different colors on it. So we want to convey that in the painting that we do. Just a quick shot of that area. I do want to correct something I said so there's no confusion. This is a group of feathers that make up the speculum, but this is a single feather, this is a single feather, this is a single feather. So the tip of that feather is white, then black, then the lighter color, and fades darker as it goes forward. Now we'll work on this area with some detail. A little bit of the nutmeg mixed with the off-white, and I'm going to go into these feathers that start here and are structured similarly to these rear feathers that overlap here and go forward. Then I just added a few feathers in that area to indicate the structure of the wing underneath, and I have a little cleanup to do in that corner. Now I'm going to take a little burnt umber and add a few dots and blotches, primarily to the dark area of the speculum. There tends to be some markings in that area, and you can kind of fade those out as you go towards the back. Now I'm using a little burnt umber and the detail brush to add a few splits into the feathers of the speculum. Final touch on the speculum, we're taking some pure white gesso and pulling across this white stripe area and just tying that feather in and completing the look of the feather with the bright white on top of that off-white. Hopefully you can see that. There's a quick shot of the completed speculum area.